It's the JT Cho Show!
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
She didn't suck it though. What's going on, guys?
Do not suck it.
Welcome back to your favorite sunglasses podcast.
If you're wondering, I'm wearing my Star Wars Chewbacca underwear.
He was bent over there, and I was checking him out, and I thought they were a real tree.
Yeah, he's like, nice real three boxers. I was like, these are Chewbaccas, dude.
They were. They got the belt and everything.
That was the Christmas I spent with my family in the military, and they're like, we bought you Star Wars underwear. I was like, these are sick. Whenever my dad sees anything Star Wars, he's like, I should buy that because Jake would like it. And I'm like, yes, I would.
He's never wrong.
No. Star Wars for life.
Motherfucking life, dude.
So I'll go first for birthdays today.
Yeah, you might as well.
What's your first name again?
Dustin.
It doesn't matter what your name is because Dwayne The Rock Johnson's birthday is today.
How old's that motherfucker now?
I didn't write down his age.
You son of a bitch, dude. That's part of the shit.
I need my phone. I left it up there for a second or two.
Damn it.
So
I'll fucking look it up. Jamie?
yeah, we're currently searching for a Jamie. You can't get paid until we get paid.
Oh, he was born in 72. He's just as old as my mom. He's 53 today.
Wow, he's pretty young.
Yeah, it's not bad. He looks pretty good for 53, dude.
Yeah.
He's a big boy.
Yeah. So things that we've done in the last time since we've uploaded everything. We did a podcast right before Star Wars Episode 25. Episode 3 was released after 20 years. So the 20th anniversary of Star Wars.
Oh, let me get my birthday out of the way real quick.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Hold on. So my birthday girl is 35 years old today.
Mm-hmm. Is she an actress?
She is a classically trained adult film star. Her name is Natalie Vegas. She's from Las Vegas, Nevada.
I feel like you just do porn stars.
It's my favorite. She's been in such films as North Pole 84, Babysitter's Gone Bad, This Ain't Hollywood Squares, Triple X, Doctor Adventures, Real Slut Party, Twisty's Hard, and I Know That Girl. She's been in a decent amount of stuff. Yeah, she's 35 today. You look her up. She looks fantastic at 35. I feel like most porn stars hold their youth.
Well, the ones that make money stay in shape.
Yeah. Well, there's definitely a drop off. There's a cliff for sure.
I mean, Leo's is 25.
Yeah, but
I wouldn't really call it a drop off. I'd call you go into another category. You got teens, and then you got
greens, tomatoes, potatoes,
and then like once you hit your 25s, you're just like my friend's sister, and then once you hit your like 30s, you're like milk next door.
Yeah.
And then
have you seen that documentary they made about like the porn stars that like live in the same house, but they're like kind of broke porn stars? They're not really broke. They make like
it's
4 to 5
all the ones
grand
that
a
live
month.
together, and they have one single guy manager.
Yeah.
They
They all live in the same house, but they all make like 5 to 6 grand a month, like just doing whatever the fuck they want.
The camera's not working on stream. Let me check that out.
No way.
It's working on ours.
Do we got to reset it?
We'll see. Oh, it's not. It's loud.
Who is it?
No, Sizzle said the camera's not working.
What a call out, Sizzle.
What a call, Sizzle. We're gonna fix it.
Sizzle, it's Natalie Vegas' birthday today. You should go check her out. She's fantastic. Classically trained adult film star.
So you might have to reset because I've already.
That's what a good boy does.
All right, so here's the marker. Yo, shout out to Sizzle.
Bang bang.
Shout out to Sizzle for that.
Sizzle's the homie.
Shoutout.
I'd be all right with Sizzle being with Jamie.
That'd be hilarious. If this podcast makes any money.
He just comes in and talks every now and then, but he Googles the shit for us.
I left my beer.
Wow, dude.
So what we're gonna do for the first 4 minutes of the podcast, that's all black.
So what
We're gonna throw
JT told me he's gonna animate a scene for us while we're talking. No, I'm just kidding.
What I'm gonna do is just have like pictures of like The Rock. Anyways, you were on your birthday.
Oh, no, I finished my birthday.
Yeah.
Natalie Vegas, she's great. 35 years old today. Look her up.
I didn't know if you were just gonna list her movies again, but it's
I
fine.
can if you want me to.
No.
Unless you want to post like the screenshots of them.
Yeah. During the
They're just a bunch of blurred out pictures.
Yeah.
You can't see anything.
anything in front of Hole, I'm gonna just
Yeah.
Hole 3.
It was like Bad Teens 4 or something stupid.
I'll just censor it all out, and it'll just be all censored movie
Shut up,
titles.
Lance. I'll go through the good ones. Babysitter's Gone Bad, Doctor Adventures, Real Slut Party, North Pole 84, You Know That Girl, and Twisty's Hard.
Oh, Twisties, dude.
Dude, I love me some Twisties. Oh, yeah, one last one. Protect Me from Love. It's a real feel-good film.
Yeah.
Makes you feel good about everything you've ever done.
It's like, I'll tell you the scariest porno I've ever seen. And it's not the content that was on the screen, but, you know, when Pirates of the Caribbean was released,
Mm-hmm.
I had a buddy, he's like, oh, you like that movie? And I was like, yeah. He's like, watch this movie. So I told my dad, I was like, hey, I got this spin-off movie. It's not connected to Pirates at all, but it's supposed to be good. He goes, well, I gotta get ready for work, so how about you start watching it and you let me know if it's any good? And I was like, okay. And so as he's in the shower, it starts off, it's porno. So right on the living room TV.
Whoa, you?
Yes. This kid at school was like, oh, you like Pirates of the Caribbean? I was like, yeah. And he was like, this is like 7th grade. And he's like, then watch this. And it was like Pirates. He knew. He gave it to me because he was like, yeah, you'll like this. And so I thought it was like a spin-off, like he said. And so thankfully my dad was like, yeah, you watch it. And then, so I was like, holy shit. So then he comes out, he's like, what's it any good? I was like, nah, it's trash. I'm just going to give it back. And he's like, oh, okay. And as soon as he left, I watched it and I was like, this is crazy.
So some kid
In my middle school,
gave you Pirates of the Caribbean.
gave me Pirates.
Pirates.
The pornography.
He's like, yo, you like pirates? Check this out.
yes.
And then your dad was like, let's watch this together.
No, I told my dad, hey, I got this cool DVD from a friend at school that said that it's like Pirates of the Caribbean.
And your dad's like, all right, let me shower real quick.
And like he goes, I don't have time. I got to shower for work. So as he's showering for work, I popped it in the family DVD player in the living room.
Is your
there's
mom home?
no, she worked second shift at the time. So right about 7th grade is when there was an hour and a half gap from when my dad left for work and my mom got home.
You were a latchkey kid for an hour and a half?
I was a computer room in the basement kid for a while.
You weren't going nowhere.
Yeah.
That was my at-home time.
Yeah. My brother had a laptop by that age, so he was in his room for an hour and a half, isolated, and me too.
And you're like, oh, I'll be in the basement. You're going to leave me alone, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna, yeah. Why is the door locked? Because it is.
You know what's funny? Me and Travis shared a room up until I was 12, I want to say.
Mhm.
And that's about the time it started. And so I never had that issue with him.
Mhm.
And I always had a lock on my door, which I thought was like huge shout out to my parents. Like every house I've ever lived in, I've had since I was 12, I had my own room and like a little locking door. Like not one of the hard ones to pick. It would you didn't need a key.
Yeah.
But it was just the one you lock, and then on the outside you just poke a stick into it and it unlocks.
Mhm.
But you needed a stick. And I could hear the stick coming.
Yeah.
Childhood masturbation.
He used to put pillows in the basement window so nobody could see from the basement in case they were fucking looking.
I guess this is a masturbation episode.
Speaking of masturbation, things.
You know what? You know one of the first movies I owned that had titties in it?
What's that?
Crazy. I don't even know why I thought of this. Dukes of Hazzard
Mm.
with Johnny Knoxville.
Mm-hmm.
There's if you look at the deleted scenes, the scene where they go to college
Yes.
and they walk into like the wrong dorm room, and there's all those chicks in there.
Yes.
There's a bunch of different scenes of that.
I just remembered that conversation from last night with Darth Vader.
You're gonna fuck me up.
So I was trying to say Darth Vader last night. So the story was I got the episodes 4, 5, and 6 when they were first released on DVD in a collection set with Darth Vader.
Oh, you remember the real story?
The real story. This is the
Holy
real story.
shit.
You just said it. You said one of the first DVDs I owned with titties. So here's the thing.
Why do we talk about this all the time?
So fucking in Star Wars, I paused the episode 5 where they are in Jabba the Hutt's place and the chicks are dancing. Well, the green alien's titties are out all the time.
They're popping.
And so on the DVD player that I had, you could pause, zoom in, and zoom over. So I would just isolate as much titty
It's my
as I
Dukes
could.
of Hazzard story.
Yeah.
We could zoom in, pause it,
Zoom, yeah.
zoom in.
Zoom out of
You
it.
do one pixel at a time and then one pixel over.
So that
Yo, we all had the same childhood.
dude, Darth Vader. Listen, we had some drinks last night,
We had some drinks.
And-
Old JT at Jayville was slurring his words.
and so
Tad
I
bit.
was just about to say that story, and I said Darth Vader, so did Darth Vader, and because of that,
I lost my shit.
and because of that loss of shit, I completely forgot that what I was about to say.
We talked about because Darth Vader, what he would look like, it would literally just be Larry the Cable Guy.
I'm pretty sure I can find it before you leave.
It'd be Larry the Cable Guy in like a Darth Vader robe, or like an Anakin Skywalker robe, but it's cut off at the shoulders.
It's
That's Darth Vader.
it's a black and gold case, and it's like and it's got Darth Vader's helmet on the side of it.
Yeah,
And that's what I was trying to say last night, but I thought Darth Vader.
Darth Vader, dude.
Get
Darth
her done.
Vader's good.
Get her done.
He says that to the younglings.
Yeah. What are you gonna do, young Master Mater?
You see him? He's got
Master
his.
Mater.
He's Master Mater, dude. That's awful. It is the masturbation episode.
I'm Mark Mater.
Dude, he's got his hood pulled down real low so you can't see him, but it's just got these two arms hanging out, and then he looks up and it's just fucking Larry the Cable Guy.
No, dude. He goes, get her done, and then he swings his toe hook, and that's got the lightsaber on it.
But it's not the whole rope isn't it, it's just the end. It's a little red hook.
Yeah.
At the end of it, like a wrecking ball.
Yeah. What's cool about the one of my favorite things about like the animation too is the like little samurai series they did, where the guy does a forbidden Jedi trick where it's turning off your lightsaber, and I would love to see more of that in the future.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, it's like frowned upon. It's like cheating. Like you can do it, but you're a bitch.
yeah,
Like that's pretty much what it is.
true.
Like you could do it, but like if you were fighting Anakin, like Anakin Skywalker in his prime, like if Obi-Wan did it to Anakin and he stabbed him in the chest, Anakin would look at him and be like, "You pussy."
Yeah, but also, I mean, like, man, dude, I'm gonna defeat you with a move that I've studied hundreds of times and done in my practice. Nah, man, I've already figured out that I got super lucky and this will actually happen, but he just didn't do it right. And then he's just like, don't underestimate me. And he's just like, dude, I just told you what would happen.
Dude, so there was a video. I actually wrote this down too at the end. This was the thing we were talking about right before we started filming. There's a point in their fight in episode 3. They both have normal footing. They're not in the lava yet, and they do this move where they throw their lightsaber that way and then throw it that way, and they go back and forth with it, but they never lock lightsabers when they're doing it.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of people online that were like, "Oh, this was super choreographed. These guys suck. Not good." And then there was like one dude that wrote a paragraph and he was talking about how like Obi-Wan and Anakin were literally master and Padawan. They trained together every day for like 15 years.
Mm-hmm. Ever since Anakin was 9.
Every day.
Yeah.
You don't think they can feint each other that quickly?
Yeah.
Like one of them goes this way, the other one goes that way, and they just kind of like they're doing the same feint
Yeah.
back to each other. They're faking faking.
It's kind of
faking.
like Jordan Love and Aaron Rodgers. There's hints of
Yeah,
Aaron Rodgers.
yeah. It was the
And-
one time during the fight to where their moves matched up perfectly, but opposite.
Yeah.
Like it was the same thing, but just like the different side.
But you're just swinging from this other angle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're on the other side of it, and so they literally go womp womp
Like, if
womp
you're-
womp,
if
and
you
they
drive-
just don't touch each other, and it just looks like they're twirling
If you're
lightsabers
on the
in
tee
front of
box
each other.
twice and two people are shooting at opposite holes.
They hit the same move at the same time.
Yeah.
That's what it was. They fought together so much that they both saw where the fight was going, and was like, "Oh yeah, this is the next move."
Oh, this is what he did to me. Yeah.
Yeah,
that-
exactly. They're both like, "This is what the other guy's gonna do.
Or like if
This
this
is how I counter it." And they both did the same counter.
One of my favorite Star Wars explanations of all time is Count Dooku. I believe this is Clone Wars. It is, and he makes it's Clone Wars the movie, and then they also do it in the animation as well. But it's Obi-Wan and Anakin fighting them. And
when Anakin loses his hand,
he puts Anakin on defense and Obi-Wan on offense.
because that's their weaknesses.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the whole time Obi-Wan's trying to...
Dooku was a boss too.
Yeah.
Dooku beat Obi and Anakin the first time they fucking fought. He had them one on offense, one on defense,
Yeah.
and then he separated them, and that's how he won. He ended up going after Anakin, who was the less experienced, because and that's the crazy thing about Jedi too, is they're timeless. There's no LeBron Cliff for Jedis.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can be 65 years old, you can be Palpatine.
Mm-hmm.
You're still strong as fuck. It's a different kind of strength. When you're younger, you're stronger at saber fighting, and then at one point in the middle, your saber fighting and your force fighting meet in the middle.
Yeah, so
that's when you're at your peak.
I think that's when your force fighting helps take over the lessened strengths from the lightsaber, because you're not as agile.
Yeah,
But-
you're not as quick. So
but-
like your saber fighting's up here when you're younger, because you're more agile, you're
I
quicker.
think you depend more on your saber
You
fighting
defend,
when you're young,
and
then
your
when you're
force
older-
powers are here, and then
Yeah.
at some point they meet in the middle, and in that middle part, Obi-Wan's middle part was like that fucking big, dude.
It's got to be rank of master and then plus 20 years.
Yeah,
That's probably because like no Padawan at 7's hitting master.
no.
They're in like their 30s or 40s. So
And that's another thing I learned. Anakin was the youngest Jedi ever on the council
Mhm.
in Episode 3.
yes,
He wasn't a master.
they
He was
talked
the
about
youngest on the council.
it. Yeah,
So how crazy of it that he got so pissed. Can't believe you're not making me the rank of master.
my favorite thing about
He's
that.
literally the youngest dude ever on the council, and he's like, "What do you mean I'm not a fucking master?"
So the funniest shit about that is Palpatine and him are just like, he's like, I'm gonna recommend you to sit on the council, and he goes, well, they're not gonna promote me to master.
Yeah, we talked about this the
Yeah.
other day. Yeah.
And then he's like, oh yeah, they're totally gonna do that, and then they do it, and he's like, what the fuck? And I'm like, didn't you not just like process that?
Yeah.
You could have just been like,
Anakin was like, in the beginning, he was like, "There's no way they're gonna allow that." And Palpatine's like, "Yes, they will." And Anakin's like, "Yep, you're
and
right."
then like we allowed that so we could spy on him. And he's like, oh, why would you do that? And you're like, because this motherfucker's probably a Sith.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. There was another thing I had about that. I was actually talking to my little brother about that earlier today when I was on my way to the VA, because I told him we rewatched Episode 3 and how dope it was.
Yeah.
And he was like, after I told him this, he's like, "Dude, I gotta rewatch it." So the gravity of the Jedi Masters not granting Anakin rank of master
Mm-hmm.
with just the movies, it doesn't mean as much. Because you go from the Clone Wars movie, which didn't really have a whole lot to do with the Clone Wars. It goes from that, like, young Anakin to long hair Anakin. Like, it skips the bulk of the Clone Wars.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go straight into Episode 3, and then Palpatine's like, "Hey, I recommended you to be master." And then he goes in there, and they're like, "Hey, we're not giving you master. You're just going to be a Jedi on the council." And he freaks out. He's like, "This is outrageous. This is unfair. You guys are pieces of shit." So that doesn't mean a whole lot. But when you watch Clone Wars, the animation, like the show,
Yes.
he saves Mace Windu from certain death. He saves Yoda from certain death. He saves Kit from certain death. He saves Obi-Wan multiple fucking times.
Mhm.
He trains the Ashoka, which is like the second most like potential out of any Padawan, second to himself.
And yeah.
Like, he does all this crazy shit. He was a general in the Clone Wars, led the army to certain victory. Like, they were on the cusp of victory.
Not a master, had a Padawan.
Yeah, also that.
So
when you watch the Clone Wars,
shit.
you see this dude, this super decorated war general.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's what he is.
Yeah.
Super decorated war general. Saved all of our asses that are on the council. Like, at least 60% of us.
Yeah.
Including Yoda's old ass.
Yeah.
Saved us all. You can't be master. It gives it way more weight.
Yeah.
And, like, his freak out in the council doesn't look like such a red flag if you've seen Clone Wars. It's like, damn, dude, he did all this shit for you guys.
Yeah, because episode 2 Clone Wars,
he's got like 3 purple hearts and like 4 medals of honor.
So
what do you mean he's not a master?
So if you're like, what do you mean? Clone Wars explains it. There's one clone battle war, and that's the original fucking raid on the Separatist planet where they all come in with Yoda. Mace Windu cuts off the head of Jango Fett, and then fucking, that's the end of the movie.
That's the one on Geonosis.
Yes, and that's one of my favorite.
Yeah,
maps.
the only other anything near Clone Wars is when episode 1 when they find Jar Jar Binks.
No, I mean that's not even Clone Wars.
No, I know, but they are fighting clones.
Yeah. Well,
but they're fighting droids. That's what the Clone Wars was. It was the clones fighting the droids.
I will say one of my favorite things I've never thought about until Star Wars this episode came about, because people are like Troy Bond. He has some great Star Wars takes.
He's my boy. Troy Bond, if you see this, you're my homie. I love meeting you in Manhattan.
He's got some great Star Wars takes. There's another Star Wars take. I forget what podcast this was from, but it explained that the Republic was slowly trying to militarize the Jedi Council.
Yep.
Well before
Palpatine. Yeah.
And that led to some of the downfall, because they were just supposed to be the peacekeepers.
That was the slide.
Yeah, and I'm like...
Someone just had to slip on down it.
And so all I'm saying is, like, HBO would do this, so Disney, listen, if you did an 8-season Old Republic series, you could go through 3 Sith Lords.
Dude, how dope would a pre-Anakin Star Wars trilogy go?
Dude, and just to get rid of
Qui-Gon,
like, don't even have
young Obi-Wan, Mace Windu in his prime.
The only thing that relates to any of
Kit
the other
Fisto,
movies,
just like being Kit. I don't know when he became a master. Who was the chick with the 2 yellow lightsabers? What was her name? With the fucking
green tassels,
tentacle hair.
She was in the game. I don't even know.
I can't remember her name either.
I'll look it up.
The first name that popped in my head was Kat Von D, but that's because I was thinking of Kit Fisto.
Dual wield lightsaber users. Ahsoka, of course.
Yeah.
Let's see. I gotta go to images.
Dude, dual wield yellow lightsaber.
Oh, that's perfect. That's even worse because they keep showing pictures of Rey. Lightsaber user green. I'm searching Jedi and original Battlefront 2. Heroes and villains. Yoda, Ayla Sakura.
I was gonna say it's the green chick.
So it's Ayla, A-A-Y-L-A. Ayla Sakura. S-A-K-U-R-A. She's dual lightsaber. It's actually blue and green.
Oh, is it blue and green? Okay,
That's
I thought
why
it was
we
blue
couldn't find yellow. She's got, her abilities are force pull and saber throw.
Yep.
And then location is Felucia, Java's Palace.
Felucia, that's where she died, dude.
Best bin only available through Xbox Live patch.
Hilarious.
The only other. So besides her, name the other heroes in the original Battlefront 2 video game. So the Jedi's.
Oh. So I mean there was Luke.
No.
Oh wait, no, the original. Anakin.
Wait, hold on. Yes, you're right. Luke was. Yep.
Okay, I was gonna say I thought they both were.
Yeah. No, there's 2 generations.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
I honestly think
so I mean we'll start with the second. So I'm gonna
you're
go.
gonna miss one because there's.
I don't
no
think
way.
I will.
I think
I played so much of that game.
Okay.
So we'll go Luke.
Yep.
We'll go Han.
Yep.
We'll go one of the bounty hunters. Django or Boba.
No, just good people. We'll do just
Good people.
just good people.
Okay. Mace Windu.
Yep.
Yoda.
Yep.
Han Solo.
Yep.
There wasn't a Lando.
Nope. I'll give you a hint.
Is this the guy you didn't think I was gonna get?
No. This is possible for 2. You knew this person's connected to 2 of the most supporting cast characters in Star Wars.
Chewie.
1, yep.
Let me think of the missions. So I got Kashyyyk. I got Hoth.
Who does Chewie ride with?
Han.
Who's Han in love with?
Oh, is Leia one of the characters?
Yes.
Ew.
Yep.
So
you're missing 1 person from 4, 5, and 6 for Jedi. And you're missing 1 person.
Obi-Wan wasn't a character.
Yep.
Really?
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
I didn't think he was.
Yep. He had Force Push and Saber Throw.
I guess that makes sense.
And then there's 1 guy. His name is Ki Adi Mundi.
Mundi. I knew Mundi.
Mundi. The guy with the big head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Come
the guy
here.
with the big head.
Hey man, if you're watching us, we fucking love Star Wars, so fuck you.
Yeah, Star Wars is sick. It's my favorite thing on the planet.
We're gonna be building the Millennium Falcon here soon.
On stream, probably on that table, full table maybe.
That table will probably do it.
It probably would. I don't think it's bigger than that. And then we can still play pool in
It's gonna
between.
be 1 sitting, dude.
Fuck, that's what I meant to do today, dude. I was supposed to stop by Dunham's and get some fucking concrete for the Q sticks.
Blue.
I forgot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I meant to do it on my way home, and then I stopped at Scotty's and I forgot.
You got time.
I was
tomorrow.
I had myself GPS to Dunham's,
You got time
and then I was
tomorrow.
like, I'm past Scotty's, might as well see him.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'll do it on my way home tomorrow. I'll swing by Dunham's. I gotta drive right by it anyway.
Mhm.
Yeah, then we can get that pool stick fucking good to go. And Sunday we should be solid to play pool. I want to give it like 24 hours to set.
Yeah.
But, I mean, we could still play with the one if we didn't want to do them both at the same time. We should do it both at the same time.
I mean, we should do all of them.
Just the ones we use. The other
No,
ones
no, like no, not my good one, but I'm saying like just 2.
Well, we're gonna do the one that I use, the wood one that's up there.
Yeah, and then we
that's
can
the straightest one you have, other than the one you use.
Yeah, but I mean, we'll have enough glue to do the blue one too.
Yeah, the blue one's bent to shit though.
Is it really?
Yeah, dude.
Oh.
I gotta show you. Blue one's bent to shit.
That's my 3rd best stick.
Yeah, dude, you're not wrong.
Because
So-
the other one's way more warped.
Yeah, so this is the one that's the worst.
Okay. Yeah. Oh my god.
Crazy. That one's nuts.
Yeah.
This one's not good either.
It's not terrible.
You hear that?
Yes. Yeah.
And then this is the one I'm comfortable with using.
Oh, it's not bad at all.
Not at all. The only thing that's fucked up is the tip. If you came and looked at the tip, it's set incorrectly.
I see it.
So it's a little tip down.
Yeah.
But and then yours, I don't even know where yours is at. Oh, yours is right here. This one's probably the straightest one. Oh, not even. This one's the straightest one.
Wow.
But we'll do these 2.
Okay.
We'll get these two set up all
you
good.
think my
The other two are like the blue one's just unusable.
I mean, that tip's not terrible on mine, though.
No, it's not, but you have a bunch of extras, so we might as well do it, and then you'll never have to do it again.
Yeah. Maybe I'll look at Q-Stick.
I might too.
Buy like a $40 Q-Stick.
This one unscrews right here too. There's no way to straighten it though. It's already. You know what it's from? You know why they're like that? Because people set them down like this, and then they just sit there for a while. They end up fucking lagging down, and then also people fucking bap them on shit.
Yeah.
They just end up bending over time. But yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna do a little Q-stick overhaul in here.
Right.
It's gonna be a good time. I love playing pool, dude. Every time I play pool, it reminds me a little bit of my childhood.
We can play pool tonight.
We definitely should.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be super down. I love it, dude. You know what's funny about it too? I was talking to my dad about it like a month ago, and I was like, I love that my boy Taylor has a pool table in his basement. It's not a good table, but it's good enough.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "Well, it's an old shitty bar table, but I know where all the sweet spots are, and there's not many. It leans one way a little bit, and it still does kinda, which I think we should double check the level.
I did. It's a little uneven.
Yeah, I think it's settling into the
wood.
Yeah.
So we need to like jack it up a little bit, or replace the wood, or put a piece of metal,
or put something better underneath it. Yeah. But or just put it straight on the carpet, because I mean, you're only gonna fuck up the carpet. You're not gonna fuck up the floor underneath.
We could do that.
Just depends on what you want to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, I told my dad, I was like, dude, I love that he's got it there, because every time I play, like, imagine, I don't know, like, what did you do with your dad when you were a kid? Like, what was your thing when you were like from like 10 to 14? If you were kicking it with your dad, doing something fun, what were you doing?
Basketball or football.
Yeah, see, I didn't get any of that with my dad.
Because he was old.
He was old as shit.
My dad would be ultimate quarterback between me and my brother.
My dad, even if he was ultimate quarterback, he couldn't. I could throw a football so better than he could when I was 9.
And Boy Scouts.
Boy Scouts. So camping was the big thing when I was younger. We stopped camping when
After I got Eagle Scout.
We stopped camping when my parents got divorced. When I was like 8. That's when it we literally used to go like 4 or 5 times a year camping up until I was 8 years old. And then it was just like done. Like no mas after that. I think I went from the time I was 8 until I was 18. We probably went 4 times.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just didn't happen. But we did have a fucking pool table in the living room. And every day I'd get home from fucking school, practice, work, whatever I was doing, I'd come right home, take a shower, smoke a little weed before my dad got home, and then we'd play pool and we'd just bullshit for like hours. Like whenever I wasn't kicking it with friends, when I wasn't doing, we'd always bet $1 on the games. And if I went on a run that night, sometimes we'd play like 30 games. Like we would just run pool all night. And sometimes I'd win like $30. Sometimes I'd smoke him. Sometimes he'd smoke me. And we had a tab list on the wall of all the money I owed him. I racked it up to like $50 one time. And then I slowly started chipping away at it. Because one of the things he let me do, like if we played 30 games and I won 20 of them, he'd owe me $10. And then I'd look at my list and be like, okay, I can go get 2 40s for $5. So we'll take $5 off my tab, give me a $5. And then I'd slowly work it down. It got to the point where right before I was enlisting, I was winning like easy like $15-$20 a night from him, depending on how many games we played. And sometimes we'd bet like dollars on shots. Like there'd be a really hard shot and it'd be like, oh, this ball, 2 rails, this pocket. He'd be like, $1. And he would try. That was his way of being like, oh, you're going to blow up on the golf course.
Yeah.
That was his way of being like, you ain't going to hit this, little bitch. And then every now and then I'd hit it like dead perfect. But sometimes I would just like barely kiss like the rail right in front of the hole and be like, oh, there's 3 rails, not 2. And I'd owe him $1.
My brother and I's go-to word for that was toothpaste.
Toothpaste.
Because one day when it was like 21 or something, when you'd be like, you're a bitch. Like when you're saying shit like that, I can't remember if it was me or him, but toothpaste, and we both fucking were laughing so hard, and somebody missed the shot.
Yeah.
So you just be like, toothpaste, and he's like, you son of a bitch. You can't believe you said toothpaste, you son of a bitch.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I always felt bad for Trav because he was good for because we got the pool table. Let's see, let me do the math. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So right before my 12th birthday,
Mhm.
that Christmas, he was like, "Yo, we can either get a bunch of living room furniture and a big ass TV, or we can say fuck the living room furniture. We'll get a bunch of bar stools and a pool table and a big ass TV. What do you guys want to do?" And both me and Trev looked at each other. We're like, "I'd like to learn how to play pool."
Mhm.
And so he got a pool table and he bought us both our own sticks. He got himself a stick. He got his roommate a stick, and his roommate only lived there for like a year and a half, and he moved out. And then it was just us
Right. Yeah. So yeah.
just running. Oh yeah, no, dude, he did. He's so funny. I don't even know if I should say his name on here.
Yeah.
I won't say his last name. I'll say his first name. His name was Walter.
His name was Jolter.
His name was Walt.
On the wall.
And
Yeah.
he was so funny because
Allegedly.
he used to smoke a bunch of weed,
Yeah.
and
Allegedly.
we knew he smoked weed, and he would always buy those little like the sweets, the cheesecakes, like the pre-made ones.
Mhm.
Put them in the freezer, and he'd eat like 2 slices of it, and then be like, "You guys can have the rest of it." And we would smoke it. Me and Travi, we'd just smoke it, and then the next day he'd bring home another one. So he was just buying them because he'd get high on his way home from work, and then go to the store and buy his dinner, and then walk by the cheesecakes and be like, "Strawberry tonight," and he'd just buy a whole cheesecake.
Mhm.
He was awful at pool. I was smoking him when I was 12 years old, like way better than him.
Yeah.
I was like hitting rail shots, calling them in, hitting bank shots, hitting jump shots. I was putting spin on the ball. My dad hated when I did that because it fucked up the table.
Mhm.
It would like put a dot. Every time you shoot those shots, it puts a little dot on the table, and it compresses it a little more.
Yeah.
I was hitting all those, and he'd be so mad. He'd be like drunk. He'd look at my dad. He'd be like, "You got to stop playing with these kids, dude." Because like it would get to the point he'd get so mad, and you could tell when he was getting pissed because he'd get a little agitated in his shots. He'd start hitting the ball harder, like thinking it was gonna make it go in, and then I would shoot like a side shot, and the ball would just like barely gently roll in the hole, and then I would immediately like as soon as I would hit a shot, and as soon as I knew it was gonna go in on the line, I would call my next shot, and then I would hit that as fast as I could, and he would get so mad when I did that. Like I was just like walking him through the game.
Mhm.
There was one time specifically, and if Trav hears this, he's gonna crack up. Me and Trav, we were both playing baseball. We both played for like 11, 12 years. He actually played for like 15 years because he played all throughout high school. We were playing catch out in the front yard, and I was working on trying to throw a curveball. So I kept doing like this big 12-6 drop, but I like didn't know how to get the flick on it. So I was realistically just releasing it like a fucking ephus kind of, and just pulling it into the ground. And we had this tree in the front yard, and the roots were like all above ground. I threw it to Trav. It kicked off one of the roots and hit into his window.
Damn.
And I was like, "Oh, fuck, go grab it." And Trav's like, "I'm not going to grab it. You grab it." So I walked up, went in the bush, grabbed it, pulled it out. I threw one ball to Trav, and Walt comes fucking walking out all like big dicked in his boxers. And he goes, "What the fuck are you guys doing?" And I don't know, did you ever go to my dad's house? I know you didn't see the inside of it. It has like the park across the street.
Are we walk to the railroad tracks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the park right across the street, like you can see it from the driveway. He walks out.
Oh yeah, no, we parked in front of there, and Lola came out on the street.
Yeah.
And then I just stood in the driveway.
Yeah.
I've been there.
Yeah. So
There's that school right there.
yeah, so that front window right there in the front yard, that was his window.
Yeah.
So I threw the ball at Trav, tipped off his glove, hit the window, didn't break shit. I went, picked it up, threw another ball to Trav. He caught it. Walt comes outside. Trav drops the ball because he's scared. Walt comes out, grabs the ball. He goes, "Why the fuck are you guys playing catch right here? There's a park right fucking there." And he goes to throw the ball at the park as hard as he can. Not only does the ball flip out of his hand as he throws it and it goes straight up, he loses its footing and face plants.
Hilarious.
Dude, I go, and I like put my glove in front of my face, and he stands up all mad. And he goes, "Fuck!" And he just like runs inside. And Trav's like, "Do we stop playing?" I mean, and I looked at him. I was like, "We should play where he threw the ball." And Trav laughed hella hard, and he like underhanded it to me, and I fired one at him super hard. He goes, "Dude, stop!" And I just kept hucking him at him right in front of the window.
I feel for Travi because as my brother was a little bit older, he used
Yeah.
to huck him at me.
Oh yeah,
I'd be like, dude, do you not see these return catches or just whatever?
dude, he was underhanding him, like damn near rolling him to me, and I was just wow, just firing him at him.
I feel for you, Travi.
Yeah,
That's
and that's what's funny about our friendship too, because I was the older brother.
Yeah.
I was the older brother. I have an older sister, but she was like 14 years older than me, so it's like it's completely different.
But has Travi ever picked you up and put you in the corner of a room?
No, never.
I did that.
I always big brothered Trav, and then there was. Yeah, honestly, I don't think there's ever been a point in my life where Trav could kill me. That's like the threshold for it.
Yeah.
Like I don't think like you could definitely kill your brother if you wanted to right now.
And in a combat,
If you were a fight to the death in a cage,
yeah,
I think you'd get him.
where there's an anime clone of exact Jerry, but he's evil Jerry.
Yeah, Rick Sanchez makes an evil Jerry.
I'm getting him.
I'm fucking Travis up.
I
think Travis and Cody could be coming after me. I think I'd have a tough time, but I think I'd fuck them up.
if I got to fight evil Jerry, like the world depended on it,
Yeah.
I think I could deal one punch KO, dude.
I think my dominance is so much. If there was a free for all amongst all my siblings, like Jenny, Travis, Brianna, Cody, and me, I think they would team up on me.
Yeah,
I think they would do a truce and be like, "Yo."
The only way you would lose is if it was prime gummy bear.
Yeah, Cody would have to get me in a hold to where I would have to focus on him.
No, it'd be Cody and Travi while everybody else does damage.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think if Cody could get on me,
you'd get your legs. Travi
if Cody could get on me and put me in a choke, like if he just somehow sunk it in, and I had to focus on getting out of that, I think Travis, Jenny, and Bree would just wail on me. And that's the only way I lose. I think out of 100 fights, I think I'm winning 82 of them.
One time, Evil Jerry was talking a lot of shit.
Evil Jerry, dude?
And I was 15 and Evil Jerry was 17. So I took Evil Jerry and I picked him up and I shoved him into the corner of the house, right where his head was almost at the ceiling. And he goes, "Put me down." And I was like, "Not until you calm down, bro."
Yeah.
And then he goes, and Evil Jerry goes, "Evil Robin, tell him to put me down." And she goes, "Just listen to him, Evil Jerry. Just calm down." And then he's like, "Just put me down." And I was like, "Just promise you're not going to start swinging because I'm not about to start swinging on you."
You big brothered your bigger brother.
Yeah, cool. Because like there's a threshold to where like I just shot past him.
Surpassed him, yeah.
My favorite story about
Is
that.
there a single sport that Jerry could beat you at right now?
Right now, no. There's a threshold.
When you were 22, was there a sport that he could beat you at? So you'd be 22, he'd be like what, 24, 25?
No.
You don't think so?
No, he hit the
So you think when you became adults,
golf, that's it.
golf?
Golf.
Okay.
Because there's a point where
The least confrontational sport.
my father raised my brother and I, but then Earl came into our lives. So it'd be me and Earl versus my dad and my brother, and they'd win. But then there's a certain point when me and Earl both turned 15. No, me and Earl were 14, and that's when they stopped playing football against us because we were too rough.
I had a moment like that when I was about 14, 15,
And
and I played with my little cousin Nathan against my two uncles that were like well into their 40s,
Yeah.
but we smoked them.
And then in basketball, same thing when Earl and I were 16. That's the last time I played basketball against my dad and my brother.
I haven't been able to play basketball against someone in my family since I was 14.
Yeah. And then from then on it was, and then like it's so funny that like my dad's like 5'11",
Yeah.
and I'm fucking 6'3" on government paper.
Yeah. Yeah. We're both about 6'2", 3/4.
Yeah. The funny part about it is,
I might be 3/4. You might be a half.
it's like if I could thank my mom for one thing, it's for my grandpa's genetics family to have my great grandfather was 6'7", and one of my grandpa's brothers was
Big Taylor
6'4".
or Big Rutan, whoever it was.
It was a Rutan.
Big Rutan.
Dude, I'll never forget the story where my grandpa had long hair, and his dad said, "You better get that fucking haircut." And my grandpa was like, "Whatever."
Kick you out of this house if you don't cut that
No.
hair.
The next day, he comes home, goes, "I thought I told you, a haircut." Pins him down on the ground, takes out a Bowie knife, and fucking cuts his hair for him.
Jeez.
And I'm like, that's like some fucking 1930s shit.
It really is. It really is.
And it really was.
Yeah.
That was probably 1948.
You know the last time my dad had short hair?
When he was a baby.
Dude, when he was 8.
Okay.
As soon as he decided he was like a very argumentative kid.
Yeah.
And he's honest about it. He's like, I was a piece of shit until I was like 23.
Yeah.
He's like, I was so argumentative about anything. Like he would just argue, like if you told him your shirt was red, he'd be like, well, technically it's like more of a burgundy.
Right.
Like he was one of those guys.
Mm-hmm.
Up until he was like 23. And then he's like, I realized it was just way too much effort. Because he's like, I was never wrong in my mind, but that wasn't really right. Like he could just argue whatever point he wanted, ever.
To an earlier point, one of my favorite, my mom's cousin, always talks about how good he is at basketball.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even when I was like 8, he's like, I played rec leagues, and he was like, my dad's age is just like, 3 or 4 years younger, so my dad's in good shape. My dad was my soccer coach. He'd be running up and down the field, and then my dad would get done with work on first shift. He'd drive to the school, and then he'd change because they gave him a adult locker room to change in, and then he would run around the school and stuff. So I get roasted by the upperclassmen, like, hoo, your dad's here. I'm like, the motherfucker is working a 9-hour job at the prison and then spending his time on the field to save money instead of driving home to drive back to drive home again.
Putting in that work,
dude.
Yeah.
And so
you had a good dad, dude.
Oh, super good dad, dude.
You had a good dad. You had a good mom too, but you had a great dad.
I had a really great mom. I mean, over loving and shit. But my dad.
Yeah, I feel like your dad was more like even keeled.
My favorite thing about my dad is.
So I had two different extremes. I had like the way too chill dad and the way too strict mom.
I had the way too strict mom and the way too strict dad. But
I had both extremes.
But then you isolate my dad, and then he becomes more chill on the side.
Yeah, but see, my dad was the dad. He caught me smoking weed at 13 and was like, "You can do whatever you want in this life as long as you don't get caught. And you're too fucking stupid not to get caught, so you gotta chill."
Yeah.
And I was like, "You right?"
Mm-hmm.
And I cried a little bit, and then I didn't smoke weed for a year. He got to me for a year.
Couldn't imagine smoking weed at 13. No, my dad. When I was in the Scouts, they'd be like, "Hey, do you want to be our soccer coach because our team's 0-6 and the coach quit?" My dad's like, "Well, how many more games are left?" They're like, 4. He's like, "You want to play soccer?" And I was like, "Sure." So then first game I scored 2 goals and we lose 2-4.
Oh yeah.
And then my dad's just like, "Did you have fun?" I was like, "Yeah, I scored. It was great." And then
scoring's fun.
And so my dad was my soccer coach all the way up until I was 9. And then as I was playing for his team, my brother was playing in the 11 league, 11 to 12.
Yeah.
And the red team was one person short, so they duct taped my 14 into a 44. And so I played against my brother, who scored a goal, and then I scored a goal, but his team won. And then from then on, I played the above leagues. So as a 10-year-old, I played 13 to 14. And that's the first time I ever got fucked up. And I'll never forget it, too, because you play against these kids all the time, and you're little, and all your friends talk like, "Oh, I know these kids from this school and this shit," because it's not like a school playing a school. It's youth 12 playing against other youth 12 from the area.
Yeah.
And so the rumor was like, "Oh, this team got a Russian kid."
Of course.
And I was just like, whatever, dude.
What does that even mean?
Yeah, right.
What did you?
I'm fucking 12 years old, and there's this 14-year-old Russian kid playing in
As
this.
long as he's not from Dagestan, you're fine.
But he was 6'4" as a 14-year-old,
God damn.
and I was fucking like 5'8".
Pretty tall for that age.
So I'm like ambitious.
Not quite though.
So the whole first half of the season, I'm having a good time, scoring goals. No one's really fucking me up. I'm playing offense, and this motherfucker laid my ass to the ground, dude. Just shoulder checked me into the dirt. And then I was like, "Can I play defense?" And they're like, "Yeah." And so I went and played defense the rest of the game, just so I didn't have to fucking get fucked up by him again. But he motherfucking drove like literally like decleated me.
Yeah.
And the first time I was just like, I will never beat that dude. He is faster and bigger and strong. There's nothing I can do against that dude except for die.
The only time I ever really felt like that was before, I think it was the summer going into sophomore year.
Mm-hmm.
It was the summer I didn't smoke weed this summer.
Mm-hmm.
And I was hanging out with my buddy Jared Phelan. We used to play pool in my dad's living room, like every day after school. Like his parents would drop us off at my dad's house. We'd play pool, smoke cigarettes, and then my dad would get home at like 6. We'd be like, "Hey, show me your dollars, bitch." Like we'd play him for money, and then go to the dollar store and buy like candy and Gatorades and shit.
Mm-hmm.
We went to go play football. It was 4v4 football, and it was me, him, one of his cousin's friends, and then some other random kid that he knew against his older cousin, his older cousin's best friend, his older female cousin, and then one of the cousin's brothers that was about our age. But the two, his older cousin and his cousin's friend on this side, were 19. They were a year removed from high school. And they were both in great fucking shape. They wrestled all throughout high school. They were like the super ghetto wrestler guys. And they were super fast. They were like, I thought I was fast. I thought I was quick. I ran like a 4.7 in high school, which I thought was like fast as shit. It felt like I was playing against NFL players.
Mm-hmm.
Like they were so much quicker. And I think that had to do with a little bit of like the nerves of playing against them. Like I was kind of hesitating with all my moves. Every time I caught the ball, every time I threw the ball, every time I did anything to like do something, one or both of them was hitting me, and it like full sprint, like full tilt, and like it was like I couldn't get out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
It was like tough. It's like the only like I imagine that's how it felt like playing tackle football against an older brother when you were younger.
Yeah,
Like I just couldn't, like, no matter what cut I did, no matter what spin I did, I always spun into their tackle. I always cut into their tackle. I always jumped into their shoulder. Like, no matter what the fuck I did, they were hitting me. It got to the point where I took 3 hits to my ribs underneath here when I was trying to like jump away, and they just speared me. The last time I got hit in that game, one of them speared me over here, and the other one hit me in the legs over here, and I just tabletopped and racked my head on the ground. I crawled to the sideline. I sat on this little stump, and I was like, I'm done for the day. And they were like, oh, quit being a pussy. And I was like, fuck you guys, dude. You guys both have 30 tackles on the day, and 90% of them are from me.
yeah.
And I called my dad on my little fucking cell phone thing with the minutes.
Track phone.
It wasn't a track phone. It was Metro PCS, but it had a certain amount of minutes.
Yeah.
So like when I'd call him, he'd be like, "What's up?" I'd be like, "Come get me this park." He'd be like, "Okay, hang on," just so I wouldn't waste the minutes.
It's just 1 minute.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Mhm.
And then he came, picked me up, and I already was showing like bruising on my rib cage, and he was like, he's like, "What happened?" And I was like, "Oh, I had to stop playing football." And he was like he knew who I was. He was like, "Why?" And I told him, I was like, I took too many hits and I hurt. And he's like, how bad is it? And I was like, it hurts to breathe. And he was like, okay. So he took me to the ER, and they got scans. They cracked 2 of my ribs.
Damn.
And like they were all bruised all over the top. The next day I had just like the darkest purple bruise right here.
Mm-hmm.
And I went over to Jared's house, and I was like, dude, your cousin's fucked me up. And he's like, what do you mean? And I showed him, and he just started laughing, and he took a picture on his phone and he sent it to him. And they were like, oh yeah, dude, we were targeting him because you told us that he thought he was so good at football. So I found out that day, like the day after, that his other cousin that was on our team that was playing all-time quarterback, he would lead me into throws.
What a jerk.
He was Ray Lewising me the whole game.
Yeah.
And I still had probably 180 yards. I still went off. I had a couple touchdowns and 180 yards. I made a miss a couple times, but 90% of the time they were smoking me. I'd get the ball, go for 10 yards, crack. Get the ball, go for 5 yards, crack. Get the ball, go for 15. I just thought I was getting the ball because I was open. It was a setup. The whole game was a setup. And they fucked me up because Jared told him I was getting too cocky. It sucked.
Yeah.
It's got to be what it's like being the younger brother of 4 siblings.
Yeah.
It's got to be what it's like. I wouldn't know firsthand, obviously, because I was the one normally doing the cracking when I was home.
Yeah, there's one point I was 12 and I got invited to play soccer in Europe for 3 weeks, but it was super duper expensive. And then they had you sit down in this conference. My parents were like, if you want to go, you got to be all into soccer at this point. But I had so much other shit going on in my life that I was just like, I'm going to play football. But
Football's great. Yeah, dude, I didn't go over anything I wrote down.
100 men versus a gorilla.
100 members of gorilla. You're number 100.
I love that that's a debate.
Yeah, no, it's funny.
I'd say if 100 men.
I honestly, for the majority of this podcast, I forgot we were podcasting.
Yeah, I knew.
I forgot.
It's gonna be a great podcast. Here's one thing I did want to break up. The last person to be drafted in the NFL born in
the 1900s.
In the 1900s.
Tyler Saw.
Tyler Saw. You did have it. He was born.
It was
September
the first thing I wrote down.
28th, I have some screenshots.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious.
So besides Shaw, Trevor Lawrence was born in 1999. Brock Purdy, 1999. Bo Nix, 2000. Penix Jr., 2000.
Penis.
So yeah. Oh my God.
No more 1900s
JJ
players.
McCarthy, 03.
God damn.
Drake May, 02.
I knew that one.
Cam Ward, 02. Cam Ward, he just got drafted.
Just got drafted.
Richardson, 02. Williams, 01. CJ Stroud, 01. Bryce Young, 01. Daniels,
Fish don't know about 9/11.
2000. That's crazy, dude.
I do have a funny draft take. So the day of the draft, the Cowboys drafted a guy they claimed was the Jalen Carter killer.
Mm-hmm.
You know who Jalen Carter is?
Yeah.
Defensive tackle for the Eagles.
Yeah.
A super beast.
Yeah.
He's been in the NFL for 2 years. So this guy that they drafted, what was his name? I know I wrote it down. Tyler Smith. He didn't give up a sack for his last 2 collegiate years.
Mm-hmm.
The last time he gave up a sack was his sophomore year against Georgia, and he gave up 3 in the same game.
Wow.
You know who played for Georgia?
Who?
Jalen Carter 3 years ago.
Hilarious.
How funny is it that they tweeted, just drafted the Jalen Carter beater, and then drafted the dude whose last 3 sacks he gave up were in the same game to Jalen Carter?
That's hilarious.
That's such a Cowboys thing to do.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Mm-hmm.
That's ridiculous. That'd be like if there was like a Trevor Lawrence guy, and they were like, "Oh, we just drafted Trevor Lawrence, the Jalen Ramsey killer," and Jalen Ramsey picked him off 3 times 3 years ago. Last time they played.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how did they not know that? Like, oh, this guy didn't give up sacks for 2 years. Who was the last guy they gave up sacks to?
Mm-hmm.
We should probably look that up before we post this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just in case.
Yeah.
Jalen Carter, Georgia.
You know Henry Ruggs?
Yes.
He's working out right now in
Yeah, he
prison.
is.
I read an article that
Josh Jacobs, let everybody know.
he's working out in prison, so hopefully he gets another opportunity in the NFL.
If he doesn't get another opportunity in the NFL, I'm down for a longest yard 2.
3.
Well, technically it'd be 2.
There's 2 longest yards.
Yeah, but it was a remake.
Yeah, so this would be the 3rd.
I'm down for a sequel.
Oh, a sequel.
Adam Sandler.
Well, yeah.
He comes back to coach. He plays old boy's Thornton's fucking role.
Right, but it's still the longest yard. But with
Yeah.
the old guy,
Well, yeah, you call it the longest yard, but instead of what was the guy's name? It's not
Burt
Thornton. Reynolds. Instead of Burt Reynolds being the old coach that comes in
It's
for the last
Adam
play,
Sandler.
it's Adam Sandler.
Yeah, so it'd be the third.
Yeah. Do another one.
Yeah,
And then instead
do
of
another one.
Instead of Michael Irving being the gangsta motherfucker from the basketball court, it's
Yeah.
Henry Ruggs.
Yeah.
Maybe DK Metcalf.
Mm-hmm.
You have him come in. You still let Joey Diaz as a guard.
Shane Gillis is a guard.
Shane Gillis is Joey Diaz.
Shane Gillis is Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Shane Gillis is Joey Diaz. He's the nose tackle. He's like, someone give me a cheeseburger. Joey Diaz is a guard, and he's sitting on his ass at the front gate. And his only role, he's the guy, the fucking whoever the quarterback is. Who's the quarterback? Is it Timothy Chalamet? Can't be Chalamet. Can't be
No.
Tom Holland.
It's gotta be.
Some kind of comedic, athletic-looking dude.
No, at this point, it's gotta be an actor.
Comedy actor.
James Franco.
What a comeback.
James Franco's the quarterback in the longest yard.
And if he can't do it, we'll get Dave.
He gets falsely accused. And goes to prison. And he's fighting it from the inside, but while he's there, he's playing football against the guard.
Who's Chris Rock? Who's Chris Rock? Is it Troy Bond?
No,
We give Troy Bond the Chris Rock role?
it's I got a good person for it. It's
What's the fat dude on Kill Tony? The fat black dude? They roast each other all the time?
oh yeah, he's good.
Is it David Green or something?
It's the guy who talks about rocks.
Cam
on Kill Tony.
Cam something.
Yeah, he's the guy who's like, I like rocks.
Yeah,
Get
he's
back in.
Chris Rock.
Yeah.
But he's actually a lawyer. And he's
fucked.
he's in jail. He's
Yeah.
in jail for doing like he got fucked on a case, even though he did it 100% to the T. And he acts all he's like, yeah, I like rocks.
Yeah.
And then old fucking James Franco is like, man, you're not gonna help me out for shit, dude. And he's like, nah, man, I got my MBA.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna be all right. I passed the bar in New York and Arkansas.
Yeah.
And he's like, why'd you take the Arkansas bar? And he goes, I don't know, I was on vacation. Like just something stupid. That'd be great.
Yeah, some of the guards. So you could have.
DK Metcalf could be Terry Crews.
I think Stone Cold Steve Austin's one of the coaches, but he has a callback where he rips off his uniform and he's in a football costume.
Oh yeah,
Where
yeah.
he goes, "Let me show you how a white man runs a football."
Yeah, yeah. Someone's got to recreate that line
Yeah,
too.
because it's that dude. That is one of the funniest lines in football because
No, dude, I found it. They put Shane Gillis in for a tush push,
oh my god,
and
dude.
Shane Gillis jumps over the line,
I think
scores the touchdown, and his celebration is that's how a white man scores a football.
I think Shane Gillis is the Travis Kelce of the tight end community for this team.
I like that.
He's tight end or a middle linebacker. I'm coming at you like a train.
But he played at Iowa,
Yeah,
but he didn't actually play. He was practice squad at Iowa for like four.
He got drafted. To
He
Iowa,
was
but
he was
murdered
practice
somebody.
squad at Iowa for 7 years.
Or like he got drafted to Iowa, but then he killed a man.
Yeah, yeah.
I was cornbred and raised in Iowa. You didn't even go there. You got arrested. I was on my way to summer camp.
No, he didn't even say it. He said, go Hawkeye. He just one Hawk, baby.
Yeah,
That'd
it'd be great.
be a fantastic one. That'd be a good one. I can't wait till they start remaking like those,
And you
like
can
the
have
early
Dave
2000s.
Franco be another guy. In
Not he's a guard. Dave
Yeah.
Franco's a cornerback.
Yeah.
And he picks him off, and he goes, "You smell like bitch," as he runs by him.
And you get Zac Efron to play the dickhead young boy.
Oh, the bitch, the fucking Zac Efron's the dude that gets the estrogen pills.
Hilarious.
I like that. I like Zac Efron getting the estrogen pills.
I was gonna say he could be like the captain of the guard team.
Oh, Zac Efron's the guy at the end of the game when the convicts win, and he's like, fucking shoot him! And he's shooting him, but he doesn't.
Yeah.
And he puts the gun down, he's like, he's getting the game ball.
Yeah.
That's Zac Efron.
Yeah.
He's a good guy at the end of it.
Yeah.
He's a good guy.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, we gotta start writing.
Yeah. Hollywood.
We gotta start writing. Oh, is that Sizzle?
Yeah, he just said W. Kind of has or WWW.
Dude, don't glaze me too hard.
Glazing.
My dick's hard as a rock.
What else did I have written? Oh yeah, did you see how much that guy got fined for his son prank calling Shador Sanders?
Wasn't it like $500,000 or something like
It
that?
was $250,000 to the organization,
Quarter
and then
mil.
$150,000 to him personally, which is like
I did see. I saw Adam Schefter put out that.
what he gave for the salary.
Adam Schefter put out that apology letter from the kid.
Mm-hmm.
The kid's a bitch, dude.
Here's the thing. Here's what you do: you don't record it.
That's where they fucked up, dude. And that's where Gen Z fails.
So like if you record
Is Sizzle Gen Z?
yes,
Hilarious. This is where your generation fails.
You're too social media.
Stop recording everything.
So if you record it, what you do is
If you're doing something like that, that's something that dies with you and your homies.
you buy a burner phone.
Because how old was he? He was 19?
Yeah, you buy a burner phone.
What year were you 19? What year were you born?
Was
it 2009?
Yeah.
That's like if Matt Stafford fell in the draft.
Yeah. But the thing
And
is,
you
like,
you went in and you called Matt Stafford and like, oh hey, the San Francisco 49ers are gonna draft you. Or who is it? Who's his team? He's probably a Falcons fan, isn't he from Georgia?
who?
Stafford.
He's from Texas.
Is he from Texas? I know he went to Georgia.
I'm 90% sure he's from Texas.
I know he went to Georgia though. That was in college.
High school. He played.
He played with Kershaw.
Dallas, Texas.
Yeah, he played with Kershaw.
Highland Park High School with Yeah.
But he went to
Played
Georgia,
Kershaw.
right?
He went to Georgia. Yeah,
I knew that.
Yeah, I knew he was from Texas. I know Lions quarterbacks. You know.
And then Megatron went to Georgia Tech, didn't he?
Yeah. There's one
Yeah.
thing. There's one thing. So I fell in love with Brett Favre and shit, and I had a Brett Favre jersey, and that's why I like the Packers.
Yeah.
And I'll never stop loving the Packers.
TB12.
But the Lions keep drawing me every year. I'm never gonna just denounce the Packers. But I root for two teams in the NFC North, except when they play each other, I root for the Packers. He says,
It's just Patriots for me.
respect me.
Respect me.
I'm the
Yeah.
go.
You got to tune in. I think we're going to start the stream off on some Mario Kart. I think that's the best way to do it.
Yeah, something like that.
I think we should start off on Mario Kart.
Yeah. That's an hour.
Did I have anything else? Oh, Adrian Peterson got a DUI. Coming home from a draft party in New Orleans.
Don't drink and drive.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Did I have anything else that was like worth? Oh, so I guess speaking of the Patriots, the last player left from the Bill Belichick, Tom Brady Patriots dynasty was just cut from the team last week.
Mm-hmm.
It is long snapper Joe Cardona. He's the last guy that has a Patriots Super Bowl ring to be cut from the Patriots roster. So there's no more left. He was the last Mohican.
That's all me, motherfuckers.
All new motherfuckers, dude. New era. New boot goofing. New Frieza.
New One Piece tomorrow.
New One Piece.
Deuces.
New boot goofing, new Frieza, new One Piece.
It's like a race door.
Nice to be in orbit.